what we now need is a come together.
I saw there's a lot of crossover between the disciplines of traditionally European and American circus and the disciplines of Te Ao Māori, which both involve a lot of fitness, a lot of impressive feats like acrobats designed to increase one's strength, speed, coordination, agility, flexibility, and balance, and so many other qualities, particularly working in groups, working in teams, and all for the purpose of entertainment whilst telling a story, or at least telling the audience a bit about oneself, who one is and where one is from. We are in this super global society thanks to the internet, where we get to see each other's cultures or each other's way of life as a form of shorthand on whatever platform you operate on, be it on YouTube, on Facebook, or with the younger generation, TikTok, whereas the attention span gets shorter and shorter. And in those times, the onus and the pressure is on us to come up with creative ways to summarize ourselves. Just making something visible is a very good start, because then that means that it's more talked about, and hopefully it is talked about in a manner of more positive desire to learn it, because you have to look no further than comment threads, various online comment threads of different articles such as Te Ao Māori News, and find that there's still a lot of blowback against it. So though we are in a much better place than we were around 30 years ago, there's still a lot of pushing to do before it becomes fully accepted as the norm across all parts of this country. We've got a lot of trauma that comes with that. We've got a lot of intergenerational trauma. There are people that are still alive today that are just above my generation and beyond that can recall being beaten as a child for speaking te reo in their schools. So they will have lost their ability to speak, and the kaupapa of today is to try to bring it back to them without reactivating any past trauma, and that involves a lot of delicate steps to be taken, and that will involve being able to embrace them, being able to awhi them with all the manaakitaka required to learn.
So a program like this actually gives us opportunities, and it gives us another step forward to where we want to be. I want to see myself in a happy community where I can share all my mātauranga, my knowledge and tikanga with my family and those around me.
To start off, I'm part Pacific myself, I'm Pacific Māori, and I understand the background where they're coming from. As a Pacific kids are brought up a little bit different to the European kids, where you're taught to be very humble. You're taught not to like the spotlight, and you're taught to take the background. So it's very hard for the Pacifica kids to stand out in the school education system here in New Zealand, where a lot of the kids are very upfront and very proud of their talents. And this is the friction we have at the moment, because Pacifica kids are taught to stay in the back and not to speak out, and they often get lost in these classrooms where the teachers, it's not the teacher's fault, but the teachers just interpret this quietness and this humbleness as not being as good or intelligent as everyone else in that classroom. And because of this, because there's so many kids in these classrooms, they tend to get left behind or hidden or not picked for certain roles. And then in doing this, it feeds these youths whakamā, their inner self-anger and the anger towards society itself, because they know deep down that they're just as good, but they don't have the tools. They haven't been taught those tools to express that. So with Circus Ability, we teach them juggling, hula hooping, all sorts of different skills. And once they learn these skills, it's an instant gratification where actually I am just as good as this guy next to me. And that gives them that inner pride, and you see that within them, because once they get that pride where they are at the same level as the non-Pacific, non-Māori, then you can see that they, in their head, in their heart, they know that they're just as good.